I'm going to tell you the reason that we have more women wanting to be child-free than we have men wanting to be child-free. It's a very simple reason. Fatherhood is a completely different fantasy to motherhood, yeah? In order to make a baby, a man can do his job in 5 minutes, and the rest of fatherhood is optional to him. He gets to decide how much of fatherhood he's willing to do. Nature does not compel fatherhood out of men the same way that nature and society compel motherhood out of women. When a woman imagines motherhood, she thinks about carrying a baby inside her for 9 months, the mood swings, the hormonal imbalance, the swollen ankles, the swollen face, as a completely different fantasy. If men would imagine themselves carrying a baby for 9 months and then breastfeeding that baby, we would have a lot less men desiring fatherhood. We would have a lot less men desiring to have 5 or more children.
Not to brag, but what a time to be childless. I mean, I woke up at 10 a.m. on a Saturday, made coffee in silence, and the only person screaming in my house was the espresso machine. I scrolled for 2 hours, I ate leftover pizza for breakfast. No one judged me. You can't buy that kind of freedom. Mostly because you spent all your money on diapers and Paw Patrol merch. So, I see parents out here running full marathons before 8 a.m., right? They're pushing strollers, they're packing snacks, they're negotiating with toddlers like it's a hostage situation. Okay, meanwhile, my biggest responsibility today is remembering to plug in my phone, okay? Every time I hear mom, dad in a grocery store, I whisper a little thank you prayer. People love to say having kid gives you a life meaning. Cool, so does sleeping in and ordering food without sharing it, okay? So I'm not anti-kids, I love kids, I'm just pro-peace. Okay, I'm sure I'll get there one day, but right now, I'm enjoying the calm before the chaos, okay? So, yeah, not to brag, but what a time to be childless. It's quiet, it's clean, and every dollar I make still belongs to me.
As a man that does not want kids, are there other men who do not also want kids and are finding it difficult, whether dating or expressing this to women when it comes to being romantic? I've seen a lot of women talk about them not wanting children, but I've never seen any man come on here and talk about not wanting kids. I find myself anytime like I'm talking to I'm still in retirement. Nobody's answering me right now. I'm trying. Trust me, I'm trying. But I still find it like even when I'm like remotely interested in talking to somebody, I always just count myself out because I have to do this whole thing of getting to know them and finding out they want like 2 or 3 children, and I'm like, So I don't know. If you're a man and you too do not want children, can you also share what your experiences are like when it comes to dating and talking to women?
I'm a child-free man, and I've got to be honest, part of the reason why I don't want to have kids is that it just doesn't seem like it's very fun. People will sometimes act like I must have some complex reason for not wanting kids, but it's actually quite simple. It's not because of some secret childhood trauma, or it's not just a phase. I'm a 34-year-old man. I haven't wavered on this, and my mind is made up. It's just that when I picture the parent life honestly, the day-to-day, the constant logistics, somebody crying, the messes, the worry, the shitty diapers, the same Pixar movie every single day for a year, I think that just doesn't sound like it's that fun. I know that some parts are. I know that when you're a parent and you see your child discover something about the world around them for the first time, that's really special. And the things they say are admittedly kind of funny sometimes. Children are just walking shitposting generators. People will say, yeah, there are these incredible little moments, and I know that's true, like a tiny hand on your face, or a funny thing they say in the back seat, that one perfect holiday photo. after 47 attempts. I get it. But the way people describe parenting to me, if I'm being real, it sounds like a handful of beautiful flashes buried inside a ton of stress, exhaustion, scheduling, money, worry, and your whole life not being yours anymore. Whereas my actual life now, it's good all the time, quietly good, randomly good, Tuesday at 2:15 p.m. good. I'm never sitting here thinking, man, my life would finally make sense if I had a kid. In fact, I've been in numerous situations where I feel like, oh, if we were doing this and there was also a child, it would be a nightmare. My wife and I will be doing something completely ordinary, like starting Act 3 of our 2-player playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3, or deciding to make a sushi run at 9 p.m. on a Friday night, or getting out of town for a weekend, or just sitting in the house with no plan at all for a chill night, and we'll just look at each other like, yeah, this would all disappear with kids. All of it. The freedom, the spontaneity, the quiet. And I gotta say, when you want silence and you have a space where you can just exist in quiet for a length of time, and your schedule. My wife's a tattoo artist, and her work schedule is entirely her own. People talk about needing to carve out me time, and that's the part that always really gets me. Carve it out of what? My whole day already belongs to me. Even with my work day, if I need to call off, it's not the end of the world. That's the life that me and my wife are building on purpose. We like hanging out together. We like having room. We like not turning every decision into a 12-step operation with snacks, bags, wipes, backup clothes, and going on a scavenger hunt for missing shoes. And I do think it matters that more people say this out loud. You don't need to have kids just because that's the script. You don't need a dramatic excuse. You don't need to be convinced. Some people want that life badly, and that's great, truly. But some of us don't, and that should be allowed to sound normal. Also, have you seen the world? People are out here acting like everyone needs to reproduce on a schedule, and I'm like, are we not all watching the same planet right now? I don't hate kids. I generally don't enjoy their company, but there's no malice in my heart for children. I'm not anti-kid, I'm just very pro this life, mine. I like it the way it is, and I'm not interested in changing it anytime soon.
Nobody made you have those kids. Stop projecting whatever resentment or disdain you have for the choice you made onto other people. Just because an adult doesn't have kids doesn't mean that their life is somehow less meaningless and they have all this free time. I mean, my day can be full of so much other stuff, but for some reason, so many people think that it invalidates whatever I got going on because I'm not a father or some other woman is not a mother. Somehow being busy, picking up a side hustle or, engulfing yourself in your hobbies or showing up for other friends and events that other people are doing. We all have the same 24 hours. Just because yours is different doesn't mean it means more. I want to reiterate this one more time. Nobody made you have those kids.
I'm a 34-year-old man with no kids, and I got a vasectomy. Let's speak about it. If you've been online lately, you know there's a big conversation about declining birth rates in South Africa. For those of you that are not aware, South Africa's fertility rate has been trending downwards. It's about 2.2 children per woman now, down from 2.78 in 2008. I've seen a lot of women sharing their stories and excitement online. What felt missing was a male perspective. Some of us have chosen not to have kids on purpose. Since I was young, I knew I didn't want to be a parent. That never changed. As I got older, the reasons stacked up. Cost of living, I want to spend my time, and the general state of the world. I'm gonna be honest, I like to travel, try out new hobbies like the guitar, studying towards a new degree, trying out new restaurants, and maybe getting a little bit tipsy in the process. Kids do not fit in my life. I wanted a permanent solution. So I spoke to my GP, got a referral, and booked with a urologist. On the 21st of July, I had the operation under general anesthesia. It went smoothly, and I went home that very evening. I didn't tell my parents or siblings before the procedure. I told them when it felt right. After all, it was my personal decision. It isn't an attack on my family, community, or upbringing. And to the other men that feel the same as me, I just want you to know you're not alone. Plenty of us value a quieter sense of life. Travel, work, or caring for the people that's already in our life. You can choose that too without an apology. My family was shocked at first, maybe even a little bit sad, but they're coming around. Since the operation, I do feel free and very much relieved. A weight has been lifted from my shoulders. And I just want to highlight that this is my personal story, not medical advice. If you want to deep dive into costs and recovery, drop your questions and I'll do a part 2. I'm going for my post-op vasectomy next month to confirm if it was a success. I'll share the results and we can open it together. If it is a success, I'm going to have a vasectomy party. It's going to be a themed celebration with friends and family, so stay tuned. Until next time.